The high stakes of Agrozet. They walked toward the new feed mixer. It was a masterpiece of engineering, designed for the modern farmer. Peter pointed to the main tank, a massive steel cylinder. "Look at the rhombus patterns on the safety mesh," he said, admiring the detail. Merrick patted the side of the machine. "I had the hydraulic system checked twice this morning," Merrick said, ensuring there was no room for error. "We cannot afford any negligence when it comes to the safety sensors." Peter sat at his desk later that afternoon, staring at the glowing screen. He was terrified they might lose the contract to a competitor. "I hope you're aware of the branding requirements," he muttered to himself. He began to proofread the proposal for the 10th time. He worried about every detail, from the font size to the alignment of the oblong tables in the technical drawings. He knew that being a jack of all trades meant he had to oversee everything himself. Merrick leaned against the doorframe, watching his partner. "I had the brochures printed on that thick, textured paper you like," Merrick said, trying to calm the atmosphere. "It gives off a real tribe vibe, like we're a community, not just a company." He used a bit of self-deprecating humor to lighten the mood. "If the client hates them, I'll tell them it was my idea. They expect me to be the one who makes the mistakes anyway." The afternoon arrived, and the meeting felt like a tense situation from the start. Peter and Merrick stood before the board members, their professional future hanging in the balance. After a firm handshake with the CEO, they began their pitch. Peter described the feed mixer's efficiency, while Merrick handled the difficult technical questions. They showed a diagram of a sphere-shaped valve that prevented clogs, impressing the panel with their thoroughness. By 7 p.m., the tender presentation was over. "Let's go to the rusty axle," Merrick suggested. They sat at a heavy, oblong wooden table in the corner of the pub. Merrick ordered a draft beer, unfiltered and unpasteurized, while Peter opted for a shandy to keep a clear head. The waiter brought the drinks quickly. The beer had a thick head of foam, smelling strongly of fresh yeast. "To survival," Merrick toasted, raising his glass. The food arrived shortly after, but Merrick wasn't impressed. He poked at the side of his plate with a fork. "This bread is stale," he complained, waving the waiter over. He then tasted the soup and made a confused face. "It has a weird flavor, like someone accidentally dropped mulled wine into the broth." Merrick laughed at his own bad luck. "I'm a jack of all trades, but I definitely couldn't be a chef with this palate." Peter was still focused on the paperwork. Even at the pub, he looked at the slip of paper the waiter had left on the table. "Merrick, look at this. This is the receipt for the drinks, but I think the waiter gave me his grandmother's recipe for goulash by mistake." He chuckled, finally relaxing. Then his face turned serious for a moment. "If the client finds even one flaw in the mixer, they might file a claim against us. We need to stay sharp." Merrick held up his glass, which was shaped like a slender hourglass. He watched the light refract through the liquid, creating a small amber sphere on the table. "Stop worrying, Peter. Our branding is solid. We are part of the Agrozet tribe now. We have had our reputation built over decades of hard work." He looked down at the rhombus-shaped tiles on the pub floor, feeling the weight of the day finally lift. As they prepared to leave, Peter reached for his wallet. "Let's go Dutch," he suggested. "I like splitting the bill. It's cleaner for the expense report." Merrick agreed, nodding. They stepped out into the cool night air, the tension of the tender finally gone. "You're a good partner, Merrick," Peter said sincerely. "And you're a better eager beaver than I'll ever be," Merrick replied with a wide grin.